Well, hello friends, I hope you're having a great day today. It is Monday. It's time to start a brand new week of our Take 5 devotions. And before we get started, let me tell you, yesterday we just had a great day in the house of the Lord. If you missed yesterday, you missed a wonderful time. Our ensemble had been practicing for some time and they led us in worship yesterday, and it was just a sweet, sweet, sweet presence of the Lord in the house of God. So yesterday was just awesome, I'm telling you. Now don't forget, next Sunday is Christmas Day, and we're going to be having Christmas morning worship from 10 to 11. So I encourage you to take advantage of that and be with us there in the house of the Lord. Well, it is December the 19th. That means it is only 6 days away from Christmas. 6 days. Can you believe it? Man, this year is going by so quick. And I'm just excited about what God is doing. I'm looking forward to a new year, as most people are. I'm not looking forward to getting any older. I'm just thankful that God has given me the health to be able to get another year older, but I'm looking forward to God doing new and better things in 2023, and I truly believe He's going to do that. That's why we are dealing with the subject that we're talking about. We're looking at Hebrews chapter 11, and we're just dealing with a simple title that we're calling Living by Faith. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this chapter over the next couple of weeks. It's probably going to stretch out 4 or 5 weeks, I guess. I really don't know. And we're going to look at it a verse at a time, if possible. And we're just going to try to see what the Bible tells us about faith, because really it's impossible to explain it with one word, one definition, one verse, or one Bible story. It's really impossible to explain it. So we're going to get some clarity. We're going to try to see if we cannot acquire a biblical working understanding of what faith is, and lay to rest some of the misperceptions that people have had and some people are still even teaching and listening to. We're going to try to lay some of those things to rest. We're going to start at verse 1 and 2 that says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things unseen, for by it the elders obtained a good report," or a good commendation. When you read those words, it causes you to understand that these men and women that the writer was talking about there in Hebrews were well known for their faith. They were approved and recognized by God and by man for their faith. Their life of faith was a testimony to the rest of the world. I like the way that the Message Bible puts verse number 2. It says, "The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors and set them above the crowd." It distinguished them. It set them apart. Their faith walk was so great and was so mighty and so consistent. It set them apart and set them above the rest of the crowd. I wonder today if the world can say that about the faith that it sees in the church. More so, I wonder if God is pleased with the faith that He sees in His people. You know, the Bible says in verse number 6 of Hebrews 11, without faith it's impossible to please God. So I wonder, is God pleased with our faith? More importantly, there's a verse in the book of Luke, I believe it is, when Jesus is talking there. It's kind of a chilling verse. It says, "When the Son of Man comes, will He even find faith in the earth?" And so that's something that causes us to stop and think. And it also causes us to realize that everything that calls itself faith is not faith. If Jesus is saying, "When the Son of Man comes, will He find it?" everything that calls itself faith is not faith. And so I'd go back when I began to think about this, and I would ask myself, and I would encourage you to do the same, do you really even know a person of faith? How many people do you really know that are really people of faith? I'm not talking about somebody that got a prayer answered. I'm not talking about somebody that got a healing or got blessed or prospered. I'm talking about somebody that by faith did something no one else would do. That by faith they held on when everybody else let go. By faith, they said things that other people would not say. By faith, they followed Jesus where others would not follow. By faith, they stand when no one else would. And you have to ask yourself, really, how many people of faith do you really know? I know a lot of Christians, but how many people of faith do you really know? Faith is so misunderstood and misinterpreted, you would think that we have a better understanding of it. And most believers have a simple understanding, but most do not have a working biblical understanding of faith at all. It's really not something that your intellect can describe. It's best described when you put complete trust in the unseen, the unknown, and the uncertain promises of God, and you just simply take Him at His word. And He intends for us to live this every day, not just once in a while. That perhaps is one reason that we know as little about walking a life of faith as we do. It's because we seem to only grasp for faith when we're in need. But God intends for us to live it every day of our life. You cannot just simply let faith be a concept that you grasp for in times of trouble. When the wheels run off of the wagon, you can't do that. Faith has got to be practical. It must be something that we apply. It's something that's hands-on. It's something that applies to our daily lives, our marriages, our jobs, our health, everything in between. That's what living a life of faith really is. It's supposed to be an everyday occurrence. And I'll change that and say not just an everyday, but an every moment occurrence in the life of a Christian. It's not something we put into action once in a while. It's something that we live by every single day and moment of our life. And so if that's the case, then we definitely need a better understanding than what we have. We cannot live on the misperceptions and the misunderstandings that we have about a life of faith. And I believe if you'll hang out with me this week, we're going to clarify some things. I'm going to give you 5 criteria that are necessary for us to factor in when we begin to ask God to do things by faith and pray by faith. These 5 criteria are going to factor in. God gave these to me last week, and I'm telling you, they're changing my perception about things. They're helping me understand it just a little bit better, and I believe it will you too. This is going to be something that I believe is going to be meat for our soul if we'll just get it in, digest it, and then put it into practice. We can't just hear this thing. We need to put this thing into practice. Well, hey, I got to get out of here. It's been good being with you today. I look forward to sharing this thought with you the rest of the week, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Tuesday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day. Remember, friend, trust the Lord. He will never fail you.